Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recent release game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Oxygen First Breath, which comes out in early access on the 7th of October. It's a city builder that kind of goes through the post-apocalyptic scene. Although my biggest issue with it is that the scenario doesn't really make sense. The science behind it seems flaky at best, and honestly, one of my biggest gripes with the game is the voice acting or auto-tune writer thing that they use is really grating against my skin whenever I have to listen to it. Outside of that, the soundtrack and the ambient sounds and stuff really do set the scene very well. As always, we'll go through the options first, and then I will take you through into the game to show you what it's all about and show you the different mechanics that you get with this city builder compared to others. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it. Alright, your options then. It starts you at audio, and it does start the audio volume at 100%. However, what is nice is that if you change the master volume, it does actually change the rest of these without you having to do so manually. Many games get this wrong, and you'll change the master volume and all the other volumes stay exactly the same. So I'm actually quite happy with that. That works really well. Your video options, you've got motion blur on the game, and I'm not a huge fan of that. You can turn it off, although it doesn't really seem to not switch it off. When you're scrolling around the screen, there is still quite a bit of blur there, which is not the best and not great for my nausea, shall we say. You got your resolution scale, you've got your brightness, you've got your refresh rate, which is funnily not set to anything. It's set to 0 when you first start the game. You can change it, but it's just not set to anything, which is really weird and odd. Full screen mode, resolution, your preset, then you've got AA, effects, post-processing, shadows, and view distance. Honestly, there's more here than I was expecting with a city builder. You don't really get that many like textures that you can really zoom in and see on most city builders, but I must say that this one looks really quite good. It's very detailed for what it is, and you can zoom in pretty damn close. Either way, all these options are a good thing. Your controls, there's nothing really, outstanding here. And again, you're probably just going to use your mouse and maybe WAS and D to sort of scroll around the screen. Everything else is mouse control, but it's nice that you can rebind it if you so desire. And then gameplay options, edge scroll enabled. You might actually want to turn this off. It's off by default, but I turned it on because I am lazy. However, there is a very small margin for error around the play, pause, and speed up buttons. Before you start scrolling to the edge of the map. It's very, very sensitive, so you might actually want to turn that one off. Camera rotation using your mouse. Edge scroll sensitivity. That might actually help the issue that I've just spoken about. There you go. We've just fixed that issue straight away. And then your autosave frequency. I love it when games include this because some people, like myself, get very, I want to save right now, and others not so much. What's also nice, although I could see it being a little bit confusing, or not confusing, but sort of annoying over time, is that it comes up and lets you know you're saving with a big save option in the middle of the screen. I like the fact that it's giving communication that the game is saving, but maybe making it a bit smaller and putting it in the bottom right or the bottom left of the screen would be better aesthetically. Something so I can see it saving, but not something that takes up the entire screen. So there's your options. Very well done, very laid out, very in-depth for the type of game it is. Let's see how the game actually plays, barring my very subjective dislike of the voice actor that they use, or the auto-tune, or the AI sort of generated voice that they use, which just generally grates against my skin. Alright, we're in the game. As you can see, it's actually very pretty in a very post-apocalyptic, everything is horrible kind of way. You have the sort of typical boxes that come and surround the things that you are waiting to build. And as you can see, everything's very basic because, again, it is very sort of post-apocalyptic sort of world era. You have a number of different things that you can build and many things that you can unlock with research later on, including housing, foodstuffs, resources, different workshops you can get, technology, community, decoration, and trees. It's an interesting concept. Basically, you are playing in a world where oxygen is very depleted, and so you have to make oxygen and survive with the oxygen you've got and make sure everybody's got enough oxygen tanks, etc., etc., etc. Now, that's sort of, the concept is great, I love it, but the science kind of breaks down and the logic sort of breaks down because you're in an atmosphere with low oxygen, so you start burning coal, which increases the carbon dioxide level. You also do this by electrolysis via water. So you're slipping or taking oxygen away from water, but you need water to live, and we're in a post-apocalyptic world where the water's not clean or safe to drink, so you need to process and purify it. So it's just a bit counterintuitive. I don't see how this would be a viable solution to sort of fix this issue if you're taking the resources you need to fix the issue. It's good for a progress sort of thing for a game, but it's very heavy on the game logic as a result. I just don't see that they would personally go down this route to try and fix an issue by creating more of an issue. The whole like using coal and stuff is what got us in this mess in the first place, but I digress. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm talking about something which is just a concept for the game. The game itself has very little to do with that. It's just the way that it's done and bugs me. Anyway, what can you do? Well, you've got your water treatment plant here. You've got a canteen. You've got to, send people out to scavenge. You've got these fissures that can sort of blow up, and it tells you how long it's going to be before they blow up. So you want to get your gas canisters to reduce the threat. You can use plants to create more oxygen. So you've got to look after them. You've got to guard them. You've got to wait until they're at a certain vitality level in order to produce that oxygen. And then they act basically as this big machine, but naturally. So, you're not required, or you're not leaning on that support as much. Research is done over time. As you can see, we've got a number of research points and then things that you need in order to unlock more things and stuff like that. And I don't know how I feel about the research tree. It seems a bit grindy without being able to do much about it, right? You can add more workers to it, and then possibly I would assume build another research center to again speed things up, or at least research multiple things at the same time. Like I say, you can scavenge and you can get mines to get the resources that you need. Obviously, down here we've got a metal deposit and stone and stuff, so you can send your workers here. You've got a list down here of all the workers available, so you can sort of digress and split and send workers where you need them to go to. And then you can just basically continue building out, improving your technologies, and building a civilization that is going to flourish. With better housing, people are more likely to breed. But on top of that, on top of just breeding, you have a scouting mechanic, and you have a way of going out and finding new people and bringing those people into your community to keep them safe and allowing productivity to increase and stuff by using submarines. What I will say is that the resource costs seem very, very hard hitting, very, very fast and very straight away, in that you will be running out of those materials very quickly and you're going to be using your speed up keys here. It also has another mechanic of wind. And apparently when the wind comes in, your oxygen levels get depleted, so you need to make sure you've got a medical center and you need to make sure you've got enough canisters of oxygen. Otherwise, people are going to die. Bit grim. Not going to lie, bit grim. Now, something that you tend to get in games like this is a crossover between tutorial and main gameplay telling you the same thing twice. The game will prompt you to play the tutorial before you jump into the main game, and then the main game will give you tutorial prompts. By this I mean it will give you tasks to do in order to sort of continue your city as you so desire, and you will get rewards for that, which is basically a tutorial and what the tutorial's already told me to do. So it's a bit... I don't know why city builders do this, and it seems prevalent in many city builders, but they do this a lot. They will literally be like, here's a tutorial, you need to play this, you need to learn how the game works. And then you play it, and then you go into the game and it tells you to do it all again. Now this is incentivized, I will get rewards for it, it's optional, I don't need to, but you're kind of going to because you're incentivized. So the tutorial isn't needed because you've got it inbuilt within the game mechanics. So yeah, on the whole, as a city builder, I do like it. I like the fact that you've got to micromanage people. I like the fact that you've got to keep an eye on all the resources, make sure you've got enough water, make sure you've got enough oxygen, make sure you've got enough of everything going on. Make sure that you don't kill your people with, you know, these gas canisters and things. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the fact that they will go out and scavenge on their own as well. As long as you've got people that are designated as scavengers and you've got enough people to do that, they will just go about their merry way and collect the things that you need to get. That's really good. The things I don't like is things like the fact that you're on a deadline, or the fact that it's telling you to do these tasks after you've already done the tutorial, and if you don't do them, they're the sort of things I don't like. They're the things that make me feel like I've wasted my time doing one portion of the game if it's just going to tell me to do that in another portion of the game. I do like the fact that your resources are very, very scarce, and it is very, very difficult to do, and you're going to need to get those things working in order to benefit from them. But it might be a bit hard for newer players or people that aren't used to a city builder type deal, where they're going to struggle and they're going to die a lot. Like here, this is going to go, maybe I should have got the metal deposit first in order to get the metal that I need to do what I want. So metal processing there. You know, like if I had maybe done that first, I would have been able to build that, which would have stopped it about to blow up, which means we're not going to lose stuff and things. So yeah, it's a very well thought out city builder with a bad concept and some overlapping problems. But outside of that, very, very happy with it. Let me know in those comments down below what you think, guys, and I will see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.